All right, we're now getting into fractions here. We have x over 5 plus 1 equals 3/5. Now, yes, I can move this 1 to the other side and so on. And I'm still going to get fractions, but if you can get rid of fractions, get rid of them. And that's what I like to do. So what I need to do is I look at my denominators. I have 5 and a 1. So if you find a common denominator between those three, it would be 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply everything by 5. That is what's going to get rid of this fraction. Here I have 5x divided by 5 is just going to give me an x. Now we're doing the next one. 5 times 1 is 5, divided by 1 is 5. Next, 5 times 3 is 15, divided by 5 is 3. So this problem that we just had, I got rid of the fractions. Now it became a so much easier problem for us to solve. So now I'm getting this x by itself. The only thing I have to move is that plus 5. So the opposite of adding 5 is subtracting 5. This is gone. A 3 and a negative 5 gives me a negative 2, which is b. So get rid of those fractions if you can get rid of them. Number 2. We have 3/2 minus x over 4 equals 17 over 8. So again, we're going to get rid of these fractions. We look at our denominators, 2, 4, and 8. So I'm looking for a common denominator. So I ask myself, what number does 2, 4, and 8 all go into? They all go into 8. So that is the number I am multiplying every single term by. So I get 8 times 3 is 24, divided by 2 is 12. 8 times x is 8x, divided by 4 is 2x. 8 times 17 divided by 8, 8's kind of cancel there, we just get 17. Again, our problem becomes a lot easier because we got rid of those fractions. So now my goal is to get this x by itself. So first I need to move this 12. It's a positive 12, therefore I'm going to subtract 12. This is gone. I get negative 2x equals 17 minus a 12 is a positive 5. And lastly, we get rid of this negative 2. It's negative 2 times x. So the opposite of multiplying is dividing. Therefore, our answer is just 5 over negative 2, which is my choice B. Number 3, we have decimals. Same thing, we're going to get rid of these decimals. Okay, so we look at our problem, and for me to get rid of them, what I do to one thing, I need to do to everything. So if I look at this 1.4, if I were just to move the decimal one place, that would get rid of it. 2.1, I'd only have to move it one place. 0.7, I'd only have to move it one place. But I look at 0.77, I'd have to move that one 2 places to get rid of it. So if I have to move that one 2 places, I have to move them all 2 places. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move my decimal 2 places to the right. So if I move this first one 2 places to the right, I'm going to get 140x. I move this 2 places to the right, I get 210. I move this 2 places to the right, I get 70x. And 2 places to the right, 77. Now my decimals are gone. Now I can just work it like I've been any other problem. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my x's together. So I'm going to move this 70x. It's a positive 70x. So I'm going to subtract 70x. Now I get 140x minus 70x is a 70x. I still have plus 210 equals a negative 77. Okay, then again, I'm still getting this x by itself, so I need to move this plus 210. For me to move it, I'm going to have to subtract 210 from both sides. So I get 70x, because that's gone. equals a negative 77 and a negative 210 is a negative 287. And lastly, I need to get rid of this x, or I need to get rid of that 70 to get that x by itself. So I'm going to divide by 70. We know a negative divided by a positive is going to be negative. So let's do this off to the side. We know our answer is going to be negative. 70 into 287. Let's try 4 times. 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 7 is 28. We subtract. We have 7 left over. Bring our decimal. Add our 0. 70 goes into 70 one time with no remainder. So we get negative 4.1 as our answer. Anytime you have decimals in your problem, most likely you're going to get a decimal answer. If you have fractions, you're going to get most likely a fraction answer. So don't be surprised. And our last problem here, we have more decimals. We have 6x plus 3.3 equals 3x minus 12. So again, what I do to one thing, we have to do to them all. So if I were to get rid of this one decimal, I'd have to move it one place to the right. Therefore, I need to move every one place to the right. So we know if we have a 6 here, I move it one place to the right, it's going to be 60x. We move this one place to the right, we get 33. This one we move one place to the right, we get 30x. And one place to the right here, we get 120. So again, what you do to one thing, you have to do to them all. Next, I'm going to get my x's together. So I'm going to move my smallest one. So I'm going to move this 30x. It's a positive 30x, so I'm going to subtract 30x on both sides. So I get 60x minus a 30x is a 30x. This side it's gone. I get negative 120. Again, I'm going to get this x by itself, so before I can even get to it, I need to get rid of this plus 33. So I'm going to subtract 33 on both sides to move it over to the other side. I'm left with 30x here. A negative 120 and a negative 33 gives me a negative 153. And then lastly, I need to get rid of that 30. It's 30 times x, so I need to divide by 30. Okay, so let's do the long division here. We know a negative over a positive is going to be a negative, so I'm going to have a negative answer. 30 into 153, 5 times. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 3 is 150. We subtract, so we get 3 left over. I have nothing left to bring down, so I'm going to add a decimal, add a 0. 30 into 30 goes in one time evenly with no remainder. So we get negative 5.1 as our final answer, which is choice C.